Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, while Bitcoin's still playing out the massive warning signal on the larger time frames, the price of Bitcoin is continuing to consolidate within this short-term sideways price pattern, while the Bitcoin liquidation heat map is now revealing a new price target that we need to pay attention to in the immediate short term for the price of Bitcoin, while Ethereum is still retesting and so far perfectly bouncing from this crucial level on the price chart, alongside XRP also now testing a very important area on the price chart. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the weekly Bitcoin price chart, and I'll keep this quick because not a lot has changed over the last one day. So the super trend indicator on this time frame for Bitcoin still sitting in the red, and of course on this weekly Bitcoin price chart we still have a massive bearish divergence to watch out for, which at least so far has not reversed or not yet invalidated. So keep that in mind. Still a warning signal on the larger time frames over the more longer term, not the short term obviously. And if we're taking a look at this 3-day Bitcoin price chart, what is more of a short to mid-term signal is of course this oversold signal that confirmed a couple of weeks ago, and so far over the last couple of weeks has been playing out in the form of just a slight bullish relief as expected. And considering this is potentially still playing out, it could possibly play out maybe for another week or so, once again just in the somewhat shorter term here, playing out a bit of a bullish relief. But while that bullish relief has indeed been playing out as predicted over the last couple of weeks, of course we've run into my exact area of resistance, which is precisely where the price is struggling at as expected. And this area of resistance is still sitting in between 92,000 to 94,000. So once again, that is still the major obstacle for the price of Bitcoin as we're playing out this bullish relief. Obviously, at least for now, that area of resistance is preventing the price from going any higher. And if we see a confirmed breakout with ideally a daily candle close above 94,000 and actually holding above that area, in that situation, the next major resistance, major price target to watch out for would be sitting at close to $100,000 per Bitcoin. And as for support to watch out for, in case we actually see a decent rejection here in that situation, I would expect a lot of support at give or take 85,000. But before that level, we also have this ascending line of support based on these higher lows here, sitting at just above 88,000, close to 88,000. And we also have a bit of horizontal support here based on these short-term lows in the price, sitting at just above 89,000, closer towards 89,500. And so here in the short term on the 6-hour Bitcoin price chart, those are also some support levels to watch out for the price of Bitcoin. And remember, still expect a lot of resistance in this same price range that I've been warning about since before this first rejection, all the way back up here in between 92 to 94,000, still acting as strong resistance. And at least for now, this is the calm before the storm for the price of Bitcoin, because in the imminent short term, talking about a matter of hours or days, at least for now, we're looking somewhat neutral, obviously lacking bullish and lacking bearish momentum, kind of just bouncing around it relatively sideways as the price is trying to play out that oversold signal in the 3-day time frame in the form of this bullish relief, as we can see, but struggling a lot at this area of resistance, which is to be expected. And so obviously in the shorter term, the price is remaining range bound, bouncing around it relatively sideways, but we're actually entering into a tightening range, because obviously we have relatively horizontal highs, relatively horizontal resistance that's not really moving on the price chart, but the support line is of course an ascending line of support that is increasing in price over time, considering the higher lows, each low higher than the last, at least so far. And so even though of course right now we're lacking momentum, this is the calm before the storm, because eventually the price will be forced to leave this range right here, leave this triangle pattern, considering we're entering into a tightening range, and eventually we'll have to break either resistance or support. So for now, we're just simply waiting to see what line this actually breaks right here. Of course, if we break out above 94,000, then that activates a bullish price target at around 107,000, but we have resistance in between around 106,000 to 107,000. And of course, we also have this area of resistance in between 99,000 to 100,000. So those are the next price targets. If we first confirm the breakout above 94,000, that would be the signal to activate that scenario and activate these targets, which can be a potential trading opportunity, not financial advice advice. But obviously, until the price actually confirms a breakout, we've not yet confirmed any of these bullish price targets, at least so far, which means for now, of course, we're still in this sideways price range. And like I said earlier, if we start breaking below these points of support, the next significant support towards the downside is at give or take 85,000, closer towards these lows. And if we're taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, obviously we still have that level of liquidity towards the upside sitting at around 94.7k, but just over the last 1 to 2 days, just in the imminent short term here, we've now started to build some more liquidity just below the price of Bitcoin, sitting at very close to 89,000, slightly below 89,000. So really in between around 88.9k to 89,000. That is a potential price target in the immediate short term for the price of Bitcoin, which is sitting at roughly around here. So obviously still within this triangle pattern. Obviously it is possible we could see a slight little dip to take out that liquidity, but still remain in this triangle pattern, still be forming higher lows on the price chart. That is a possibility. And in case you're new to all of this, usually, not always, but usually the price of Bitcoin tends to move towards where we have a lot of liquidity. So considering the fact that we're now building a decent amount at close to 89,000, it is quite likely we could see a slight little dip to that level, and then it is possible that we could see another bounce back up to head up towards this higher liquidity at some stage in the short to mid-term here in the coming days, maybe the next week, which once again is still sitting at around 94.7k. And so ultimately right now we just have to be a little bit patient. We have to wait to confirm that next major signal breaking from this price pattern in order to set up the next potential trading opportunity. So if you haven't done so already, this is the time right now to get set up ready to go on a crypto exchange to take advantage of that next potential trading opportunity if you want to. Not financial advice, but if you use the first link below this video in the description and in the pinned comment, that first link below the video will take you to this page right here over on the Pinex crypto exchange, where you can take advantage of some massive bonuses that are only available using that link. For example, if you make an account using that link and complete KYC, you get a 50 USDT bonus on your account. And on top of that, if you create deposits on your account using that link below the video, as little as $100 deposit, you get a 100 USDT bonus into your account. If you deposit 10,000, you get a 1,000 USDT bonus into your Pinex account. So some massive bonuses here that are only available using that link. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, or preparing to take that next trading opportunity, you might as well get set up ready to go using that link below the video. But if you want a no KYC crypto exchange to trade on, to use long positions, short positions, etc., an exchange that I also use myself, then for that, check out the second link below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. That second link will take you to this page right here over on the 2bit crypto exchange, where you can also take advantage of exclusive deposit bonuses that are only available using that link. And on top of that, there's also a trade protection and recovery fund that's active during this event right here. And so if you make your account using the link below this video during this event that's running right now, for the next 7 days, your first 7 days of futures trading, you can get up to 200 USDT in trial funds from lost funds. So basically, if you're losing 200 USDT on your trades, you can get that money back in trial funds in the first 7 days of trading on your account if you're using the link below the video to make your account during this event, of course. And on top of that, during this event, if you're getting liquidated over 50 USDT, you can also be eligible for recovery compensation up to 1,000 USDT depending on your liquidation. And so once again, if you're going to be trading crypto anyway or preparing to take that next trading opportunity, you might as well take advantage of this using that second link below this video. And remember, 2bit is also a no KYC exchange. But with that being said, taking a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance chart on the daily time frame, and I'll keep this quick because not a lot has changed over the last 1 day. Right now, the Bitcoin dominance is still looking extremely neutral. We're simply lacking momentum to either direction, which means a lot of the major altcoins on average will likely be performing very similar to whatever Bitcoin is doing, not necessarily much better or much worse. So honestly, not a lot has changed over the last 1 day for the Bitcoin dominance. So taking a quick look at Ethereum on the daily time frame, right now the price of ETH is continuing to test this crucial area on the price chart, still sitting in between around 3,000 to 3.1k, but specifically around 30.30 to 30.40. So once again, in that area in between 3,000 to 3.1k, that's a major area to pay attention to. Previously, it was Fibonacci support, and then it flipped into resistance just a couple of weeks ago. And then of course, we broke out above that area. And so far, this has been acting as support over the last 1 week or so. And so in order to remain in this shorter term bullish price structure, of course, we need to continue to hold above this crucial area of support in between 3,000 to 3.1k. Because for example, if the price actually confirmed a daily candle close back below 3,000, and especially if we fail to get back above that area, in that situation, it'll be extremely likely we'll drop back down towards these previous lows here at give or take 2.7k if we first confirm the break below 3,000. But for now, once again, in the immediate short term, that is still acting as support for the price. And as for resistance, expect some resistance at give or take 3.4k, but especially in between 3.6k to 3.7k, we have also a strong area of resistance right there. And if we're zooming further into the short term, looking at the 4-hour time frame, obviously one of the major reasons in the short term over the last couple of days as to why we've seen this shorter term pullback or cool off for the price of ETH is thanks to this overbought signal that confirmed just a couple of days ago, as I warned about back here on the price chart, telling you that we're most likely going to see just a slight little pullback over the next maybe 1 or 2 days. And obviously that's exactly played out as expected. And it's possible this could continue for a little longer, kind of just lacking bullish momentum. But overall, we have now already reset the RSI out of overbought. In fact, right now, as of recording this video, we're now in the lower half of the RSI, which means we're closer to oversold than we are to overbought. And considering the fact that at least for now, we're still in that short-term bullish trend here on the smaller time frames, of course, right now, we are technically forming higher lows and higher highs on the price chart, which by definition is a bullish trend. Considering that fact and considering we've already reset out of overbought, it can be likely that maybe over the next few days, not necessarily right this instant, but maybe in a few days from now, it's possible we could see perhaps a slight bullish relief, just basically continuing the trends that we've already been in. And remember, we're also running into major support, as I said earlier, just here, which on the short term is sitting right here. We're pretty much running into this support right now in between 3,000 to 3.1k. So obviously that is also a level to pay attention to, but keep in mind, whatever Bitcoin is doing will likely influence a lot of the altcoin market. So for example, if Bitcoin continues kind of just range bound in the short term here, chopping around sideways, it's likely that Ethereum and a lot of altcoins will play out somewhat similar price action, maybe just for the next 1 or 2 days in the imminent short term here. But in order to ultimately continue these short-term bullish trends with another leg towards the upside with some decent bullish price action, we really need to see the breakout for Bitcoin above 94,000. If we never see that breakout and we continue to struggle here, and especially if the price of Bitcoin actually breaks down in that situation, don't really expect major breakouts or continuations in these bullish trends for altcoins. That will be very unlikely if Bitcoin continues to struggle here. So definitely pay attention to what Bitcoin is doing to figure out what is quite likely going to happen for a lot of the major altcoins. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of Solana on the 2-day time frame, I'll keep this quick because not a lot has changed over the last 1 day. Solana is still chopping around sideways in the same sideways price range that I've been talking about for weeks now on the channel, in between this support and this resistance. First of all, this support is still sitting at around 124 to 128, and this resistance is still sitting in between around 143 to 147. And so continue to expect the price to bounce around this support and reject from around this resistance. And overall, the shorter term momentum is very flat. We don't have a lot of bullish or a lot of bearish momentum, at least right now. We're just bouncing around sideways within a sideways price range. For now, that is still the situation for Solana. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the weekly time frame, obviously we're still playing out this massive bearish divergence on the weekly XRP price chart, as I've been saying for multiple months now. Of course, I warned about this all the way back here in early August, end of July, early August, back here at almost all-time highs, warning about a multi-month pullback. But this is still technically playing out, is still currently valid on the price chart, which means overall on the much larger time frames for a period of months, expect a lot of weakness, lacking bullish momentum. Of course, we could see the occasional short short-term bullish relief or sideways consolidation on a slightly smaller time frame, but on the larger time frames, talking about multiple months, we're still looking quite weak here, and we're actually running into a very crucial area on the price chart that I've talked more in detail about over the last few days, and this area is sitting in between around $1.80 to $2. And so once again, as I've explained in more detail in my last few videos here on the channel, if the price of XRP actually breaks below this area, so for example confirming a weekly candle close below $1.80, and especially if we fail to get back above that area, in that situation that would likely result in a massive pullback, a massive crash in the price over multiple months. That will be a long-term bearish signal for XRP. So I'm warning you now before it happens. If we see that signal confirmed, right now it's not confirmed, I want to make that clear, but if we see weekly candle closes below $1.80 and fail to get back above that area, that would be extremely bearish for quite a while for XRP on the larger timeframes. But for now, once again, still a crucial area to pay attention to, still at least for now acting as support at around $1.80 to $2. And if we're taking a look at the daily XRP price chart in the somewhat shorter term here, technically speaking, this bullish divergence is still valid. We've not yet actually confirmed the invalidation of this shorter term or smaller bullish divergence on the daily XRP price chart, which means it's possible that maybe just for the next few days we continue kind of just chopping around relatively sideways in the shorter term, especially if of course Bitcoin is doing something similar. Remember, a lot of major altcoins will likely play out somewhat similar price action to whatever Bitcoin is doing just in the shorter term here. And as for support and resistance, those levels have not really changed over the last one day. We still have support at give or take $2 and also at around $1.94, and major support at close to $1.80. And as for resistance, expect some resistance at just above $2.10, but especially around $2.20, expect a lot of resistance around there. And obviously the larger price structure, the larger trends that we're in is still clearly a bearish trend on the daily time frame. It's just the shorter term situation is kind of bouncing around somewhat sideways a little bit as we're trying to play out this smaller bullish divergence, but the bigger picture still not looking too good for XRP. And if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame, right now Chainlink is still in this shorter term sideways price range between this support, which was previous resistance, now acting as new support, and of course this now resistance. And first of all, this support is sitting at around $13.40 approximately, and this resistance is currently sitting at close to $15. And so remember, as I've been talking about throughout the video and many videos here on the channel, considering the fact that a lot of altcoins will likely play out very similar price action to whatever Bitcoin is doing, of course this is telling us that while Bitcoin remains range bound in the immediate short term, maybe just over the next couple of days or so, continuing a little bit more choppy sideways price action, perhaps just over the remainder of the weekend, while this remains to be the case, of course Chainlink, along with a lot of altcoins, will likely remain somewhat range bound here in the short term, most likely just for the remainder of the weekend. But technically speaking, this smaller or shorter term bullish divergence is still currently active for the price of Chainlink, which means either expect some choppy sideways price action or slight bullish relief as the most common outcomes. But remember, as I just said, just for the weekend, expect more choppy sideways price action is a very likely scenario if Bitcoin's doing something similar. And once again, those are the support and resistance levels to watch out for. And only if we start breaking out above around $15 to $16, especially above this previous high at around $16.60, only then I'll start to flip a bit more bullish on the much larger trend that for many months now has of course been a larger bearish trend with the occasional short-term bullish relief along the way down. And so overall, those are the important signals and levels to watch out for on the price chart for all of these crypto assets and next potential trading opportunities coming very soon. And once again, if you haven't done so already, get set up ready to go using the links below this video to those exchanges if you want to take advantage of any major trading opportunities for the price of any crypto here. And of course, if you want to know how you can trade crypto no matter what the price is doing, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.